Okay, so this world we live in is so processed, so full of false advertising, full of crap, full of things our bodies don't even need, things we get hooked and addicted to, and we just can't get rid of out of our diet. I mean, look, food is one of the most enjoyable things in life, and that is great, but you need to be able to mentally process and handle everything that you are eating, and making sure you're not basically using it to self-medicate, to drown yourself in, or abuse it, because the more of anything in life you have, the body will adapt and get used to it. The body will start to change and really become dependent on that. And that's the last thing you want. The more variety and circulation you have in a clean, healthy diet, the better off you're going to be. So things when people talk about, milk and all this stuff, and anything dairy, anytime you put that in, you're actually inflaming the gut, and you're actually giving yourself more bad gut bacteria than actually good. You're destroying good and actually creating more bad. So if you're putting things like, the same goes for wheat and gluten, anything man-made, we're simple creatures, we really are. We're not designed to do it, to handle it. The body will do a massive job, and it's amazing how it keeps surviving and processes all this stuff, but it's more later on in life when it will back up and it will kick into you. Anything bad you put in the body has to use that many different types of more enzymes and things to actually break down and use so much more energy to try and flush and detoxify cells and organs and tissue. If you're not putting enough in, guarantee you, this is where a lot of people have so many different symptoms, problems, and you could probably think of a heap right now. So the idea is, if you look at milk and all that stuff, milk can actually surround a lot of other good foods that you have and actually prevent the nutrients from actually uptaking into your body well. True. Same goes for wheat and gluten. It does the same type reaction, and same for coffee as well. Can actually interfere with the makeup and actually trying to absorb nutrients into the body. And even on the note with coffee is actually extremely bad for the gut and intestinal tract. Killing healthy enzymes, and bacteria. You've got so many. So things like that to remember, and remembering that the cells of the gut is only one line of cells thick. So it's not a lot at all. So it can be damaged extremely easy. The blood-brain barrier in the brain, it actually is only one cell thick too. So it's so easy for anything that is actually man-made to actually cross these areas really bad and start to destroy it. Whether you get, because anything that's bad food, basically, a lot, I won't go into specifics, I'll be here forever, but a lot of anything that is artificially man-made, and chocolates and milks and dairies and biscuits and chips and creams and gluten stuff and wheat stuff and all that and chips, and it actually fogs the brain, so you can actually not think as good or think as clearly or as sharp or whatnot, whatever it is. You might find, people always go, oh, I have these big carb loading meals, or I eat big and I feel really good. I go, oh yeah? How good's your focus? How good's your concentration? They go, yeah, it's good. It's like the thought took a while to get there, and things like that. Your memory recall on so many things, and concentration, your mind muscle connection speed and everything else is just slower. So, everyone's born a certain way with neurotransmitters in the brain and how it functions with, smartness, intellectual, whatever it is, literacy, numeracy, and anything like that. You get some people that are into quantum physics and some people that just drive a truck. But everyone's usually got something like maybe an 85 or an 80 IQ up to maybe like something like a 130 odd. That's where sort of everyone seems to range in between. And 120 and up is considered really good. So that's fine. But you can destroy that off or make yourself not as good and as functional. You can actually make yourself smarter even if you're not smart. It just takes time, practice, and you've got to strategically structure and look at it and look at things and see what's going on. But that's the basis behind nutrition, and this world is just we're so bombarded with so much variety and so much good stuff that we're forgetting to be in touch with how basic and simple we are as creatures. We don't need much, we don't need a lot. The more you have to worry about. People are just consuming and overbuying and overcreating, and running rampant and not getting in touch with themselves. And then eventually as they get older, they're just so worn out and they've never stopped, they never know what it's like to be still. So they can't even really do it. And they start to go insane. I mean, the amount of guys that I see and know and we do different things, you know, they can't imagine it. You know, it's actually quite easy. Everything is practice. Everything in life, no matter what you do. But a lot of times we are not consciously practicing, we're just doing. So there's a big difference there. It's being conscious of what we do, how we think, feel and act, you know, making sure that, you know, nothing, even if it's bad, nothing's actually bad. You know, it's up to you whether you actually want to create that thought into something really bad or really good. I mean, you could look at everything and laugh. I mean, I know one guy that just laughs everything off and just doesn't care whether he's actually good at it, and actually, because, you know, he's not with me all the time, but he seems to be always all good, but it could be on the back end, you know, maybe getting to him. So, because we're not robots, we can't switch the mind and the body off. You know, it's constantly going 24/7, and if we don't channel and process everything we have internally out, it's gonna eat us alive pretty much. So I need some water. Alright, so I'll wrap that one up, and all the best, and just look after yourself and take care, because life itself is pretty full on and pretty draining. So just make sure you do everything you can on the back end, so you don't get things building up on the back end, mentally, physically, nutritionally, spiritually, energetically, because I tell you what, any one of those levels, if they're out of whack, will stuff you up in many ways. And then if your body is already out of whack in some shape or form with maybe hormones or glands or injuries, you know, the body is struggling. So it needs power of the mind to really come along and somehow kick in and kick you in the right direction, because self-will is the hardest thing. I mean, I've been through, I put myself through rehab about 10 times, seriously, and it's horrible, but the only way to do it and get there was persist, determination, never give up. Because if you do, you know, and I kept training, kept doing it, and a lot of people can't do that or won't do that, couldn't have the energy or the mentality to even try and do that. You know, I've felt sick sometimes for so long, but I still keep training. You know, I don't give up. And people say, you know, naturopaths and nutritionists are like, you need to stop. No, I can't do that. Yeah, maybe that's true and all, but you know what? If you're looking after yourself, eating right, got a good mentality, you know, you do everything you believe which is right and good and safe, you got nothing really to worry about. But a lot of people don't know how to do it. A lot of people can't even train to the degree that I do and still feel good every day, and that's what I'm all about. Is I would like to push myself to the limits and beyond, and try to still feel good and make sure everything's functioning good and not wearing out the cells of my body, essentially. So, and this could go on forever, and I said I was going to wrap it up, so I'll wrap it up, and yeah, all the best, and life's a journey, so just enjoy it. Cheers.